What?
Yeah, go ahead.
I kind of just follow everyone's lead because as I said, he is a complete scrub. So he has the mindset that these guys probably know what they're doing. So I'll just follow them and shut the fuck up.
All right. Um, so he's just gonna walk in and sit down, be quiet.
Actually, he's going to wait until everyone has found a seat, and then he's going to take the seat that's free.
Okay, that's probably the one right next to Johnson.
He takes it still.
All right. All right.
It kind of moves it just a bit away from the Johnson, just to be sure to get out of his personal space.
Mm-hmm. All right. And I think that we're waiting. Okay, Gargoyle just got back. That's
Gargoyle, you died as well.
Yeah, we tried to reinflate you, but yeah, you were leaking.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you all.
That's good to be here, I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to meet you.
Glad to make your acquaintance. So, you're all here for a job.
Of course.
Well, I would hope so.
If you don't mind, I'd like to get straight down to business.
Yeah.
He starts bringing up a couple of AR displays that he shoots out to all of you. I'll describe those in a minute. We have a very interesting business proposition. You see, the Yellow Lotus Triad is it's a smuggling ring for BTLs. We don't care much about that, but what we do care about is the way that they get their BTLs into Seattle. Our information tells us that they have an old world submarine, which they used to get past the security around Seattle. We'd like you to steal it.
Uncia starts to say something and then shuts up again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, dude. If you don't mind me sort of just asking quickly, I'm sort of curious. I couldn't help but notice on the way in, no one else knows what's going on here, do they? Because some little motherfucker just tried to bug us on the way in. You haven't know anything about this, or even anyone else who might be curious in the submarine here?
No. However, I doubt it'll be important.
Do I get the impression, or rather does Uncia get the impression that he did know about it and that he just doesn't want to admit to it? Or is this really new information to him?
Isn't that a
judge intentions?
Yeah, I'm rolling judge intentions as well.
You guys are
everyone's judging his intentions right now.
You guys all rolling so low on judge intentions. You should get your logic higher. Though
I
that
know
is
it's a logic roll.
See, that's what, logic plus charisma?
Yeah.
I have. What's my charisma? Holy shit, 6. Why the fuck? Oh yeah, that's why.
Actually, no, it's intention. It's intuition and charisma, I think.
Oh, okay.
That makes totally difference.
I actually looked at it and it's like, why the fuck do I have 6 charisma? And then it's like, oh yeah, black magic.
Oh,
Oh shit.
Blackcat has no idea about intentions of anything.
Guess if everyone's rolling, I'll roll as well.
Okay.
And
Whoops.
if you don't want to be paranoid, go right ahead and not be interested.
All right. So Blackcat, Noob Cole, and Uncia are just have no idea what's going on with this guy. He is a mystery. He is shrouded in secrecy.
Well, we know
On
that
the
he
other
wants.
hand,
More cool than the jest.
On the other hand, Gargoyle, you get the distinct feeling that something may be going on, but it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, he's a fragging Johnson, right?
So you're saying what I already know because I'm paranoid as hell.
Yeah. I'll look into it. In the meantime, my associates and I are willing to offer.
Mr. Johnson, if you took
Yes?
just a moment here. With that said, I'm going to pull out a. I'm going to pull out a. One
White
of the
noise.
white noise generator, rating 6, and just put it on the table and turn it on.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
As he does that, Nucole kind of raises his hand and goes, it's not to be rude, but since we're going to go steal a submarine, do we have to acquire our own scuba gear, or will that be handled for us?
Actually, that leads to my first question. Do we know where the submarine is? Is it docked, or do we have to hit it in transit?
Well, you are more than welcome to attempt to hit it in transit. However, I wouldn't suggest that. It's delivering shipments of BTLs to Seattle. Presumably, it has to surface at some point or another. So, if all goes well, you won't need scuba gear.
I would imagine that the scuba approach is somewhat impractical. Submarines tend to be underwater, and if you open them up to get inside, they tend to sink just as much as anything else.
Yes, that is a very astute observation. So,
Actually, they do have airlocks if we did decide to go that harebrained route.
Yeah, but if you open them up from the outside, the airlock is usually not functional anymore.
that's correct.
Yeah,
I'd like to ask, how big of a submarine? Are we talking about a submarine that can go down a river, or like,
We're talking about an old world United States Navy submarine, Ohio class.
Blackcat will just like whistle? Woo!
Yeah. So, we have evidence that the missile silos on it are no longer functioning, so there's that working in your favor.
yeah. It's always nice when you don't have missiles firing against you, I guess.
Well, missiles tend to draw attention.
Yeah, but they also tend to kill people really quickly.
To get down to some practical points, and before we really commit to anything, what kind of timeline are we talking about here?
We'd like it within, say, the next week. You'll be delivering the package to he brings up a map and AR and shares it with you. And it's looks like a little port town on the coast of Alaska. The trip should take about 2 to 3 days from Seattle. So I would bring food and water if I were you, or you could just take it off of the sub.
And you would have tracking information on where the sub will be at certain points in time?
We have information on where it will be at a specific point in time.
Fair enough.
The specific point of time being when it is docked in Seattle, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So far that sounds potentially feasible.
Johnson,
At that point, Uncia will kind of look around the group and sees no one that looks like a submariner.
so
Blackcat would DNI the group. That's going to take multiple people to pilot. It's not something that big's going to be a group job. Just
oh my
get
god, you say that, but I've actually experienced someone just fucking drive a submarine without any training. Fuck you, Unreal. Fuck you. The memories. No, But Noobco says, so Jonathan, before you got so rudely interrupted, what's the cash on this mission?
We're willing to offer, say, 12,000 a head.
12,000 a head. That
Dude,
doesn't.
if you don't mind me saying, we're hijacking a sub here. This is not really the usual sort of thing here. I think a little bit more might be worth it as well. Let's say, we got a sub, and people tend to lose quite a bit of slack when it comes to subs. Well, quite frankly, we have an X-missile sub, so this may draw a bit of attention, unwanted attention. So I think a little bit more might be worth it. And I am going to roll negotiations, and I have bargaining for specialization for 9.
Okay.
Ho.
I'll
Before
add
you do
to
that
it.
kind of thing, you run the risk that you have not the best person doing the negotiations. I mean, as you saw during the gear acquisition, Uncia has more dice, and I think that Noob also may have pretty decent negotiations.
Nope, Noob doesn't even have negotiation. He's a really good liar, though.
Okay.
Oh,
All
crap.
right.
But
So,
Gargoyle did take the lead, so can I assist at least?
yes, go ahead.
Okay, with clothing I have 13 dice. And I'm giving 4 extra dice to Gargoyle and 1 extra limit.
Okay.
I'm not negotiating, it's Mr. Carpet.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I am sorry. You mistook the names then.
Don't worry, it happens. It's only
So,
like,
Mr. Carpet, roll 4 more.
yes.
Wow. Wow.
Nice.
You
Well, that
almost-
was a successful assist.
That ended up working out
I mean, we'll have to see. Did it
very
work out?
nicely.
Did it work out? Will we get more money? The questions.
All right. Well, that's a fair point. Would 15,000 be more acceptable to you?
If I can make a suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
We are both taking a risk here. I mean, you run the risk that you're going to entrust us with the information on where the sub is going to be and that we may not return it intact. And of course we are running risks stealing a sub on the behalf of someone that we are not supposed to know, and there's all kinds of risk involved in dealing with subs.
Yes.
How
Not
about
to mention only, not to
please
mention
allow me.
only having the one chance and probably going away from their smuggling routes, which means we can be detected in said so.
I think that we'd feel a bit more secure if the money could be available in an escrow account, so we know that, at the end of the run, everything is in order. That we can feel secure to come back to our money that we agreed upon.
That is fair. We can also offer you free
Oh, shit,
transportation back to Seattle.
Oh, fuck me. I actually have negotiation. Fuck me. I just saw that.
Wow.
Can I suggest another cup of coffee?
No, I looked over my skills, like, no negotiation, and then I saw, oh wait, I have influence group. Fuck me.
Alright.
Way to go, Noob Cole.
In that case, $15,000, 15,000 million will be added to an escrow account to be paid once the package is delivered to that location, and you can take either one of our endorsed planes back to the area, or however you would like to return. It's up to you, or you can stay in Alaska for all I care.
I don't like the cold, so the plane's fine with me.
Sure. So further information, we need to have fairly precise information on whom to deliver the package to. Because we probably don't want to accidentally hand that off to someone who looks similar to the person that we have, or that you have in mind.
Well, and then he starts, AR display, bringing up more pictures. The place where you are going to be delivering it is an old abandoned dockyard. We're anticipating substantial repairs to it, regardless of how the run goes, simply because it's old. You can talk with any of these individuals, and then he gives you a list of people, and personnel files, basically. Any of these people would be qualified to release the money from escrow. Your best option, of course, is to simply wait until the money is released from escrow before handing over the submarine, in which case everything is hunky-dory, right?
Do you have any documentation on this particular submarine? I mean, I'll speak frankly, I have very little experience with actually operating submarines.
Sure, you
Mine,
pull
I am
something up.
usually fine on the water, but it's kind of hard to get a lot of hands-on experience with Ohio-class submarines lately.
Yeah, that is pre-war submarines. I guess it would be hard trying to teach someone about those.
I imagine that it would be. However, I'm confident that Shadowrunners such as yourselves will be able to find a way around it.
That's what we do. Adapt and
Little
survive.
Sim on the tricks. I think we can handle it.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking, wait, we're bringing guys like Nuko?
Everyone needs an anchor.
Everyone does need an anchor, I guess.
Oh my god. I think that's going to be one of the quotes for the run.
Yeah. All right. So, is that an acceptable
Um,
To
arrangement?
me, it sounds fair.
Actually, I have a question, not regarding anything about payment. You wouldn't happen to have any information about what kind of resistance we would be meeting on the boat, or are we going in blind?
Well, whether or not you go in blind is entirely up to you. However, I can tell you that, as we discussed, it's owned currently by the Triads, so I would expect a little of their muscle to be around, plus
Yeah, me
whatever
too.
they need to unload.
Yeah, me too. Just asking if you knew that they had a nuclear warhead. You know, the usual stuff.
No, I highly doubt that they would blow up their own submarine nuclear warhead because a couple of pesky Shadowrunners came about.
I don't know about that. Sometimes nuclear warheads are the best way to deal with Shadowrunners. Scorched earth. But
I would imagine that even a Triad would consider that to be a bit much in the way of collateral.
different stroke for different folk, I guess.
To be honest, most likely what they would, and to be honest, what most likely they'll do if they're going to be if they're going to be scrubbing it, they would just have some demo charges hidden someplace in it.
Maybe they
Yeah,
actually,
that's what I was thinking.
maybe they
Sink it.
actually, maybe they actually do have demo
Anyway,
charges
all
in
that
it.
people, all that stuff can wait until we do our discussions. Among ourselves. We don't need to bother our employer with this.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Oh,
is
so
there
yeah.
good information on a particular point in time where this submarine was docked here in Seattle?
We think that it'll be docked sometime Sunday morning, around say 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, at the following location, and he'll give you latitude and longitude points that you can follow up with later. It's in northern Everett.
Ah, yes, the old Navy docks there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's Friday in game, so it's another day and a half.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Sailing time about 2 days.
Mhm.
So there is a little bit of leeway.
Yep.
Would you happen to know whether the Triads expect the submarine to be used very shortly after it arrives again?
Uh, I would expect that it would go to wherever they're getting their supplies from.
Blackcat's
Possibly the
gonna be in
Cal
a-
States, possibly Asia.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much of a window we have to actually acquire this vehicle for you.
Blackcat's gonna DNI probably a couple hours. They gotta get air back in, refuel it,
And load
Yeah,
off.
Yeah,
and
Which
load
is gonna
off.
take a while.
But they're gonna want to ship out as soon as possible
Another
because
thing to
nobody
con-
wants to know you have a submarine.
Yeah, another thing to consider is that we're probably going to wait for the tide. So chances are they'll be there for 6 hours or 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
yeah.
guess we're done here, aren't we?
I'm trying to consider whether there's any information that would be good to have.
No air. This is nuclear. Hit the deck,
You
guys.
said
It's
that
going.
you
What?
You said that you expected there to be quite a bit of repairs necessary. Any elements of the submarine that you suspect not to be working properly? I mean, we'll have to be operating it for at least a few days at sea.
Hopefully nothing too crucial.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They're operating it fairly frequently on fairly long trips, so
Probably not the propellers or the maneuvering or the ballast or anything like that.
probably not.
Okay, that's all that really matters. I mean, we could not handle this thing if it had like some other problem. So we just gotta get it and sneak out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Of course, there's actually one last thing that suddenly occurs to me. You said that they used it to circumvent some of the security in the harbor here. Even so, a submarine this size is not going to be invisible to the Coast Guard.
That's correct.
So, do they use electronic means to circumvent detection?
You can leave that to me. I think I can figure something out once we're aboard.
Excellent. That's good to know.
Yeah. I would also imagine that, depending on who you spoke with, there may be a few greased palms.
Excellent.
Quick question. If there's going to be greased palms, I assume this means there's going to be a transit window with the greased palms are expecting that submarine to be going through. You have to have information on that.
No.
We'll get that on our pre-flight checklist. We'll figure it out. Let's I think we should call it. I think we got what we
Good.
need.
Looks good. We look forward to working with you. And may the sacred weed guide you and make your path most interesting.
Blackcat face palms.
I just have the face of, oh my god, I'm going to sit in a submarine with these guys for 3 days.
May the sacred weed be with you as well.
So that at least the air filters are working inside a submarine.
Since Noob Cole is seated more or less right next to the Johnson, he gets up, stands to the side, like away from the Johnson, and takes a bow to the Johnson and says, "We will arrive with your submarine as soon as we have it. See you until then.
Best of luck.
I think we will need it. Hopefully not."
Blackcat's gonna hold the door open for the team.
Okay. You are welcome to keep the room for the next hour or so if you'd like. Otherwise, you can give the key back to the gentleman behind the bar.
No, that's fine. We think we can find someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
Blackcat's gonna DNI the group. Never discuss your job in the same place you met your Johnson.
If that's the case, then we should probably leave at separate intervals. So I will leave now, give it say 15 minutes, and then you should leave.
Noob Cole DNIs over the group. So, do we still know that those goons or whatever the hell that was out there is
I've
still
got
there?
eyes on them.
Okay, what's the situation on them?
Yeah.
The situation about the gang of guys outside who have all the same type comlink.
Yep.
Looks like they're just kind of hanging out.
Over DNI go still nothing. Maybe suggest we leave before the Johnson.
That's a bit
Johnson.
hard. He's already left.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's on his way out. You can try to stop him,
No.
Make an agility roll.
but so yeah, actually, shortly after the Johnson leaves, so do those Matrix icons.
Yeah, that sounds just like his security detachment.
Gotcha.
So he's working for Aztec?
It looks like it. Either that or they are shadowing him, but in that case he's aware of him by now. It's probably not our concern. I mean, either as technology is interested and our Johnson knows it, or our Johnson is working for Aztec, and it doesn't really matter. It should not influence our job.
Well, I just wanted to know who we were working for. You never know when somebody's gonna stab you in the back of this game.
Well,
So,
Aztec's
like-
terrible either way, so this show will be interesting, regardless of whatever happens.
Got that right.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to relocate to a different place. Where are you going to go?
Suggestion? We load up in our particular vehicles and we drive out to, Snohomish, Everett, somewhere where we're a bit further away from, the dense population areas.
Definitely.
Yeah, I know some noodle shops. Let's check out some ramen.
Is there a story?
Dude, you know this wonderful, I know wonderful hookah bar we should go to.
No.
No.
But back to the ramen. Is it soy ramen or like wheat ramen?
Well, it's probably
yeah,
soy.
wheat ramen?
God damn it!
As long
No.
as the place is full, I'll happily come along.
Oh my god, that submarine is gonna smell of noodles, isn't it?
We will literally just bring instant noodles.
Okay. So you guys are going to a noodle place
Yeah.
out in Everett or
Snohomish.
Snohomish. Okay. So you're at a noodle place.
White noise
Okay.
generator at the table?
Yeah. And again, make sure, we're gonna text scanner over each other.
Okay. Very good. Very good. No bugs right now.
Yes. That was the white noise generator in the noodle shop should be secure enough.
Yeah. Typically it's like a place of randoms that nobody would expect you to be having a conversation there.
Okay. So our situation, I bet no one of us has ever piloted a submarine.
You got that
I'm-
right.
I'm usually pretty good with vehicles. It's an intuitive thing. I'm not too very dared. I probably can, with some practice, make heads or tails out of it if we can find some manuals or stuff. I'm
probably
gonna be
find
honest. I am not going to be an expert, but then again, no one is going to be.
Well, the closest I get is a bit of basic driving skills as well as industrial mechanics, but it's the sub here, not really HVAC, so I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blackcat would say that she's pretty quick, and she's got a little experience piloting boats from some sim training. But I'm thinking we should look at a simulation. Maybe
Sure.
they got an old Matrix game that has you manually control an old submarine.
Of Ohio
They have a lot
class.
of those.
I got you covered on that front. I made a trick sky for this run, and once we're on the sub, I can probably do some electronic whiz to make sure we're not spotted that easily.
That would be good.
Got a bit of mechanics skills as well.
Speaking of not being spotted, I want to do I'm personally a bit paranoid about there being demo charges someplace. Let's say they have a demo charge set on a timer that if they don't reset every so often, it blows. So that way, if anybody does steal the sub, they're fucked.
Well, after we
Can I
steal
make a
the sub-
suggestion? Don't get me too nervous if you want me to pilot that thing. You know, it's a bit of a new experience. Sure, I'm okay with boats. I'm okay with vehicles of any kind, really. But don't start on. You know, it may be bugged and we may not be able to do stuff about it. That's just not good.
No. Hun, don't worry about that. I am a whiz, or at least pretty much a whiz with demolition. So we do anything, I can take care of it.
The last time I ran across a runner that said that, he said, "Can I use edge for that soon after?"
Gia,
Seriously,
hey,
I've run
and
across 4 situations. Out of character, I've run across 4 situations with explosives so far, and 3 times out of 4, the person handling it had actually no explosive skill.
I actually do in this case.
Well, that's good to know.
hey, Anthony,
Yeah.
improve invisibility. Does that work on vehicles?
Let me check the rules on that because I don't think that it would work on a vehicle the size of a submarine. But I could.
Yeah,
mean-
submarines are bigger than a house, so
Yeah.
those-
I mean, in
Actually,
theory it works on vehicles, but I'm not sure whether the size limits to it. I
Wait,
would
what?
imagine there is to some extent.
Does improved visibility cover audio?
I don't
No.
believe so.
No, like you'll still be able to ping sonar off it,
Yeah,
but you just won't be able to see it. So you'll, if anyone
that really
sees us
doesn't help
doing-
much.
Me.
Yeah, unless there's someone underwater looking at objects, it doesn't really matter.
I know, but
Or
then we
there's
could
also there's also passive sonar.
I know, but I mean, we could surface then, and no one would be able to see us. That's my idea.
Good point.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help at all because they'd still sonar us and they'd still see the water displacement.
I know, but yeah, that would be some.
Regards to the surface stuff, even if we're invisible, there's also still radar we would have to deal with.
I think that the way radar works, it would actually fall under the purview of improved invisibility. I'm not sure though.
But
I think the size limit is more the issue. I mean, if all higher class submarines would work, you know, then people would be using improved invisibility on airplanes all the time, and they just don't.
Yeah, I think that the size is the real issue here.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Oh.
Being a major.
On the other hand, it gives me great ideas for using a spell lock to put improved invisibility on torpedoes.
Just fucking make all the drones invisible. No, everyone's wondering why the fuck they get shot to pieces.
Honestly,
Okay.
yeah, that'd be real scary.
So
Yeah,
our practicals. Okay, first we need to figure out. I mean, we have the location where it's going to be docked. So we'll probably want to do some investigation, whether what we can find out about the dock, and what kind of people will be waiting for it. So let's see whether we can get some kind of, I don't know, security info on that dock or so. See what I have planned for it.
Leave that to me. In the meanwhile, I might search up some about the submarine itself and share it with you while I'm in VR.
Excellent. If you want, I have a satellite uplink in my truck. If that helps you.
It might help on the sub, but I don't think it's a problem here.
I don't think it will help on the sub. I don't think I can get my truck inside the submarine.
I mean,
Well, I have a portable satellite link. I can take with us.
how big is your truck? Because it is
It's
But
an off-road truck. Think Ford F-350 or thereabouts.
We could park it on the submarine, but I don't think we can take it with us.
No, I
It's
think so too. This means I'll have to do with a bit
We
less
just-
weaponry,
we
but
just
you know,
have-
such is life.
we just have to bond it to the submarine, man. Like, just take some stabs, wrap it around the submarine, easy peasy. We're good to go.
I don't think she'd like it.
Come on, man. Stop being such a party pooper.
Anyhow, I'll probably
if you are
start.
interested in cleaning the engine afterwards, you know, from a few days underwater in the sea,
Here comes that edge roll. You gotta.
All right.
Hopefully, yes.
All right, you're fine. You manage to luck out, and they don't poison you inadvertently. All right.
Does
Yeah.
anybody have any contacts in the Coast Guard to see if we can't find out who's getting their palms greased and
we don't want to check into that. Because if we are not careful, they will start getting suspicious because we're checking into them, and they may freeze up. If they're greased, we just want to stay at, you know, arm's length from them.
okay.
No, seriously, you don't want to interfere with someone who's greased because they might get spooked.
Well, I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure
I
we
said
hit that
that.
same window on their exit strategy. That's all I was thinking.
With regards to this, we should just be able to find that in their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt. It's going to be extremely likely we're going to have that written down someplace on the sub.
Yeah, we just need to find first info on that dock. You know, see when that submarine is going to be arriving, so that we know what kind of window we're talking about. And also, hopefully, we can figure out how many people will be waiting there, so that we know what we should prepare for, because we'll need to take them out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what's the plan? How are you going to do that?
Hacking, I bet. I guess Gargoyle is our decker, so.
I was about to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
First, I'd try to just search for general information about the sub we're going to be boarding, and send that over to the rest. So that's a matrix search, I guess.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll matrix search.
So I'll pop into VR a moment and start sending you guys data to an AR display.
In the meantime, could I make a roll against my smuggling routes knowledge skill to see what I happen to know about the use of submarines for, you know, smuggling purposes?
Sure.
It might
go
give
ahead.
us some useful info.
Motherfucker.
And that is a map-ish of the submarine that you're
I
going to be.
knew there would be nuclear shit in it. I just knew it.
There are no nuclear warheads in it.
But there's a nuclear reaction.
Okay.
Yes, but one can hope that things won't go too badly.
So I got 3 hits on the knowledge for the smuggling routes and such, and how to use submarines for that.
Okay. It's probably coming from the UCAS or Asia, and it's a highly efficient way of getting past, border security, because technically at this point you only have to, get out of port and then you get into port instead of crossing multiple borders. So this kind of thing would be popular if people could get their hands on submarines, but it's a little difficult nowadays. As for smuggling routes, you'd need like topological maps of the Seattle, area, underwater area to figure out how they would be, piloting it through those routes.
Can we get Gargoyle to look that up as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, make a search.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh wait, did we actually get a location where the submarine would be stationed?
Yes, it's in northern Everett. Docks in northern Everett.
Yeah, it's the old submarine docks there. Well, actually, these days they're not submarine docks; they're just surface navy docks.
Yeah.
Because the submarine docks are in the Maka area in the Salishi territory.
Correct. So these are just there are some old abandoned submarine docks. So
Okay.
they're probably using those.
After
I'm
after Noob is done eating his ramen, he is going to sit back, take a meditative stance, fucking posture, as he sits and go ascends the area.
Okay. Real quick
You
for
can take
Gargoyle.
Gargoyle first.
Yeah. So Gargoyle, you're going to be getting some topographical maps. That's not going to be that difficult, and you can figure out, where the depth is greatest and some general idea of where they would be going with the submarine. I'm not all that concerned with that because between piloting skills and topographical maps, you're going to be able to not kill yourselves on rocks.
Can I see from the data I have before me? Can I see if we can use part of the smuggling route en route to the place where they were dropping off the sub?
I'm sorry.
I'm saying, can we use the smuggling route at least a part of our journey?
Oh yeah, well, it's mostly getting out of Seattle's area, right? Once you're on open water, you can go north, you can go south, you can go anywhere. Right?
okay. I want to make a matrix search roll and see if I can find see what information I can find in regards to the surrounding area where that is, where it's going to, in regards to see if there's any good approaches or the like.
Okay. Well, Everett is not the nicest town anymore. It used to be fairly nice, but it's pretty run down now. The area is off of what was once, a pretty major road. Now it's kind of old and lesser used. So there's a short private road. Then, what once was, secured by United States military before the docks. So it's reasonably secure, but there are a couple of warehouses and things like that. And we can talk about that when the time comes, but there really aren't that many approaches unless you want to go by water.
Go fuck yourself, Nels.
Anyway, Uncia would ask Gargoyle whether it would be possible to get maybe some old Navy training material from back in the day, so that we at least know what the controls look like, and we can kind of, get a bit used to that ahead of time.
Oh boy. Give me a moment, I'll see what I can dig up.
Okay.
I'll try to look for any. Yeah, and I'll try to look for any good simulation sims for that, and maybe in the older stuff like instructions and such. Perhaps even a freaking manual. Who knows? It's gonna be 1,000 pages long.
All right. You can do that. In the meantime, I'm just going to real quick jump over to Noob Cole, who is checking out the site astrally, right?
Yes.
All right. Give me a sensing, or did you already do that?
Yeah, 5 successes.
Oh, okay. Nothing seems to be there right now. A couple of guys that head out there. Looks like they have they're probably slotting or doing drugs or something like that, because their emotions are varying very widely. So it looks like it's pretty much abandoned for now. I'm guessing that you're gonna, just assume competency. If you check all the warehouses, one of the warehouses is fairly securely guarded. Looks like there are, about half a dozen guys there, but nothing too big right now.
Okay.
It would probably be good to
Isn't that 7 hits though?
find a space where we can kind of be on the where we can bunker down, awaiting the submarine. Find an abandoned one that we can just park ourselves down and prep for the arrival of the submarine.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Who was doing a sensing, by the way? And how many successes did you get?
5.
Okay. You'll notice that Uncia is awakened. She has some kind of magical tattoo. She has no cyberware. What kind of info do you get? Her emotional state?
I mean, I didn't really
slightly,
I didn't really look at her. I just kind of like went out the body and like looked kind of at the group and then went away. Not specifically, but I guess I could see that she's ascended or awakened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You kind of notice that, kind of unavoidably.
Yeah, but I don't really care too much.
All right. And was anyone else doing anything? Oh, manuals and simulations. What was that? 7 successes?
6 total I get to keep.
Okay. Nice. You will manage to scrounge up some old, like Tridios or video games or something like that. It'll give you
For October.
Yeah, that'll give you a pretty good idea of what what you'll be looking at in terms of controlling the submarine.
Gotcha. Over at DNI, I ask, anything else you guys need to know? The place we're gonna pick it up? What do you know about that so far?
I mean, could you maybe go scrounge up some data? Have you already figured out the data on the submarine? Like how big it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've given you all the specifics, the map and everything. I've shared instructions, the simulators and such. I've shared all of that.
Oh yeah, I just see it now. Holy track, that's huge. But
Probably remove the missiles and just get use that as storage space for smuggling.
yeah,
That's some serious.
I'm pretty sure you could have like 3 tanks stored in that thing. Maybe more.
Easy. Easy.
Actually, I don't think there will be a hatch big enough to get a tank inside.
That's correct.
You just make a hatch. Welding tool.
Use one of the missile hatches.
You could take 2 of the missile hatches and convert it to a new sized hatch.
Yep.
And you'd have room to roll a tank in there.
Look, we're gonna deliver this
enough.
stuff. We're not gonna keep it for ourselves.
Oh,
even
I
though
know.
that would be awesome.
Speaking of someone with a bit of background here, Yols, in regards, you're most likely to not do that because dudes, once you begin cutting that hole, this hole is going to be somewhat awkward to cut. I imagine. I don't really know much about nautical engineering, but speaking from the industrial perspective, that's probably going to ruin a bit of hull integrity. So the most likely are just using the missile hatches.
Oh, totally. Besides, it's like 3-inch steel hull. You're just not going to have any tools to cut through that.
3 inch.
Yeah.
That's like 15
Yeah.
centimeters.
Yeah, no, an inch is 2.5. So it's about 8
like-
centimeters.
Looks like our
Oh.
quickest way to get to navigation is through this hatch in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Front.
That would be actually approximately 75 centimeters. Sorry, 75 millimeters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means
So, yeah.
I don't know what to expect inside, but
Okay.
I'm gonna probably be needed here in the
personally-
sonar room. And
Personally, y'all dudes, I am happy for this. This is going to be fun because, dudes, I may get to whip out my street sweepers. Can we just imagine that? Running battle through the sub.
There's probably a minimum crew of at least 6 people on this thing.
It will be understaffed. It's going to be tricky. because I really don't think that they automated a lot of it back in the day. I mean, I have no clue how old this thing is, but
Did you see the back?
you know,
They got a
I mean, we couldn't-
maneuvering room.
heck, we don't
need
even know
somebody-
to what extent they updated the electronics. You know, we'll really have to
True.
improvise.
So yeah,
Before we hit inside, I could send a spirit in to get a read on how many there are when we get to that point.
Definitely. Since
Yeah,
it's old tech, I doubt I'll be able to do anything inside the sub remotely. So we're gonna have to get in and take care of anyone trying to get the sub moving as soon as possible.
I would imagine that the submarine would kind of be a case of Faraday. You know,
It's going to at least create, a pretty high noise rating.
Yep.
so let's see. So our basic plan is going to be the thing is going to be arriving. We'll be waiting in a nearby warehouse. We wait for some of the people that are there kind of to exit and do their thing, so that there's less people at the submarine.
Oh, by
Actually,
the way, speaking of that, I've looked at the area in the astral plane, and there aren't that many people out there, but they're like maybe 15, maybe 20. It's kind of hard. They kind of blur together.
that's a lot of
and
them.
after he says that, I'm going to say, okay, this is going to be fun. I made you get to whip out the MGL-12, dudes. This is going to be sweet.
What about
Hey,
a distraction? Do you think they'll try to get away with the sub as soon as things go loud?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
It's
We're
gonna
going to have to make a run
No,
off the sub while it's running away, and oh yeah.
It's
No.
going to take, I would imagine, I mean, we don't know exactly how it's going to look like. Sure, we have some training manuals and stuff, but even then, we need to run inside, go to our stations, if we can even figure out where those are, then start the instrumentation, close up the thing, sync it. It's going to be at least half an hour from the moment that we are at the docks before we can even start to get off the dock.
True.
That's
Yeah,
probably
we
the
could-
bare minimum. They have half an hour to stop us,
If
essentially.
you need help navigating inside, I could send a signal to any TRID projector you might have.
Hey,
I'm not too worried over that. I'm more worried over the fact that we need to hold off their reinforcements. They're gonna have some reinforcements, and they're gonna call them in because they don't want to lose whatever this thing is worth to them.
Yeah, once we're inside, we're gonna have 3 hatches through which
Can't we
enemies
just-
might still come through.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
I could
They
plan
can't
probably
hold
H.
the back up.
Every,
I could probably block off one, maybe two of the hatches. Maybe have a spirit blocking the last hatch. So, as long as we can get inside, blocking them out is going to be reasonably easy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I can have a drone defend one of the hatches as well.
what if we just kill everybody on the surface in the process of taking it? I mean, if we can get them nice chunk of them all in one place, a few frags from my MGL-12, dudes, it'll be sweet.
Honestly,
If
I don't
if-
think that's
No.
gonna work.
I don't think
They'll
that's going
escape
to
with the
work.
sub before that.
But
I mean,
have
the frags are just.
but
Yeah,
I,
go ahead.
I have an idea. If Drake should go miswired, and we're spotted before we even get close to the sub, I could maybe make a barrier around the sub, denying it from leaving at all. Though it will be incredibly hard.
No.
And maybe even be able to kill me. Though that would be a last resort.
I'd rather not go that route because
Me neither.
chances are that even the attempt will take you out, and then we have less resources for the second try.
Precisely, which is why I put this as
Yeah.
the last resort.
There are 15 guys, right? If they're all in the same place,
No.
The frag grenades are just terrible at this kind of thing. You know,
I don't-
this
I
is
don't-
where you use gas grenades.
Carpet, I
I
don't
agree.
know how many are there. There could be 10. Drag, there could be 30. I didn't get a
I think
accurate read.
the most preferable approach would be just enough get seen once we enter the sub, and once we do enter the sub, we need to clear it room by room while someone gets it moving.
Agreed. The
Agreed.
trick is going to be getting inside the sub without being seen. So, how about that invisibility? Can you do that on the entire group?
No, sadly, I don't have group invisibility. Though I could
No, but can you deal with this? I mean, I am not a spellcaster. You know, I don't know the mechanics of it. This is speaking in character, so
I could individually put you all under invisibility and just stay behind, because at that point I would be completely useless just trying to maintain the invisibility.
Keep in mind that you are a spellcaster, so that means that you also have access to spirits, and spirits have the conceal ability.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah,
conceal is awesome.
conceal
that's
is
the way to
amazing.
go. The thing is, Uncia has not enough knowledge to suggest that.
Yeah.
This is why I was leading this in character,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
could
actually,
reply
let me
with that.
just, sorry, I'll just conceal.
Blackcat
Conceal is the way to go.
recommend because she doesn't know any better. She'd be like, couldn't we just make one person invisible, get that person to the sub, and then hand it off so you make only one person invisible at any given time? That way you don't have to make us all invisible simultaneously.
The problem is that as soon as you shift it to the second person, the first person will become visible again, and then there's one person of our team inside an enemy sub.
Right, but once you're inside the enemy sub, there's lots of places to hide.
Sounds
like
like
the
a
missile
bad idea.
silos.
I prefer not to split the team up.
Hey, Anthony,
Huh?
concealment, is that I don't have to roll for anything? It's just a -4 for anyone trying to see them?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
And I'll go.
It's not just see, it's any perception. It's also
I
mind
know,
you know,
that's-
sensing rolls and whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of
And I'll go. Well, if we get people in one by one, there's the risk they're gonna leave on the sub with only half our team on the sub.
Yeah. Don't split
In
the team.
regards to, I think we need to all get on the sub at the same time, do it as quickly as possible, and with me covering your asses, because once I whip the MGL-12 out, dudes,
We're not whipping
There will
the
be
MGL-12
red
out on the sub, though.
Actually,
No,
no,
isn't
I'm,
it-
I'm taking the MGL-12 with me. I'm not using it on the sub. I'm talking about using it for suppressing any reinforcements. Hit the people who are not on the subs. Seriously.
what I plan to do is get my truck nearby, because I have some pretty decent weaponry on there. Use that for suppressor fire, and then have the autopilot drive the truck away once we're on the submarine.
Oh, and
That could work.
And I'll just take my drones with me, you know, in person.
Uncia, I have
Mhm.
just thought of something appropriate to the invisibility thing. I could summon a spirit that could do some wiggly fingers on us, and that would make it harder for anyone to see us or hear
Great.
us,
Blackcat's gonna frown.
taste
Wiggly
us.
fingers?
Wiggly fingers.
I don't
magic.
like that.
You probably
I
don't.
don't like it.
I don't know what different people call it different things. It's magic. Okay?
Seriously, wiggly fingers.
Wiggly
That's the
fingers.
best word you could come up with.
Brain fight. Okay, can we move on? I messed up.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Right.
As I said, it's concealment, as per se. But
Yeah,
it would.
I'll leave the technicalities of that to you.
Yeah, but just saying, it's not any better than you just trying to hide. So don't think you can begin taking out people with it. They will see you. But we have that.
In all honesty, if you can get on board without being seen, fighting usually means that something went wrong. I mean, be prepared for it, but if we can avoid the fighting, all the better. I'd rather get on board of that thing unseen and then clear it out from the inside while we close the hatch.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's my plan.
could
as well.
if we got inside without being seen, could we hide in the sub until they ship out
We
and then just hit them when they're already out?
Bad idea, because there's a good chance that they can gas rooms individually to take out intruders and stuff like that. That's
Plus,
how
if
I
we
would
take it
organize
sooner,
it.
there's gonna be less people aboard.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
we need to get out of there as soon as we can. I mean, tight and such permitting. Speaking of which, Uncia is going to check the tide tables to see what times we actually could exit without having to, struggle with that submarine against the tide.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll for that or anything like that. Yeah, it looks like the tide will be going out around like 6 a.m. So we'll start, moving the way that you want it to around 6 a.m.
So we need to be on board probably an hour earlier, so we have time to, prep essentially, get used to the controls.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd argue that we need to hit it a little bit later, like 5:30, because we don't want to give our enemies any more time than absolutely necessary.
The counter argument is that they are going to be on board early. They're going to be prepped and all that to go out on the tide themselves.
Okay.
So chances
That's
are
true.
that if we arrive too late, then they have the entire team already on board, and we'd like to preempt that.
If we
So
don't
I
wanna
think that we go in 2 or 3 hours early, so there's the lowest number of people on board.
I am personally for hitting it while they're doing the cargo transfer, because with doing the cargo transfer, they will be, they won't be able to immediately just pull away. At that point, we eliminate the opposition and close the hatches and pull away, or at least eliminate surface opposition, go in, close the hatches behind us, and then make a room by room sweep.
The problem is that with that method, you guarantee that you have to fight, and not only that, you have to fight against everyone, because that's the moment where the most people are active.
It's a shame they were working against triads, because they're gonna notice immediately when
Exactly.
one of them
I mean,
isn't one of theirs.
Triads have mages, guaranteed, and they're going to be sensing and notice that we're not one of them, since all of them are ritual linked. So there's no way to sneak up on them when once they are alerted to our presence.
What if we could snag one and replace him?
Won't work, ritual linked. We are not part of the ritual magic.
Also, who knows Chinese among you?